Welcome back to the fourth episode of the Leading the Pack podcast, where I still don't know how to start these shows. A lot of things happening, as usual, in sports. We just had hockey starting. So far, 4 games have been played for most teams, and we are going into the the conference championships this week for the NFL. A lot of players not signing with teams that I want them to sign with for baseball, and some players threatening retirement if they were to go to any other team than the team that they were playing for. So I want to jump right into it. So for football this week, I was thinking about going through the games, and I'm going to go through them real quick. But some things have just... there's a lot that is going on in the NFL, and it's really pissing me off, between the players. So, in the NFC, or for the wildcard weekend, we saw the Rams beat the Seahawks, and we saw the Browns beat the Steelers. And those are sort of upset games. I guess I had myself saying the Browns are going to beat the Steelers, whatever. But they're also rivalry games, and there's going to be some trash talking that comes with it, of course. But the trash talk that's coming with the games, little excessive. McGillney agrees with me over here for the people on YouTube that sees this. If you lose, you shut up. Okay? This has to be the first thing I say, because it's the most prominent thing that I'm seeing in the NFL. And I want to be talking about Drew Brees, how this could possibly be his final game, but of course, people don't like to shut up. With the Browns game, we saw Steelers players disrespecting the Browns with their win, saying that if they were a little more respectful, they wouldn't have, been so disrespectful themselves. Which that's bull, because if you watch the game and if you saw anything that came after the game, you saw Baker Mayfield going up to the sidelines, Juju sitting there sulking. Mayfield went up there, he paid his respects to the players, because they balled out for a lot of the season, and as a player, you got to go congratulate them for that. You got to show that you got to pay some respect, shaking hands, whatever. Baker Mayfield went to go do that, and then Chase Claypool and other Steelers receivers are just going to say that they're going to get blown out by the Chiefs, which they lost to the Chiefs, but it wasn't a blowout for one. And then you see the Rams and the Seahawks. So Seahawks beat the Rams in Week 16. Seahawks win the division. And then you see Jamal Adams, I was talking about it last week. And then Jamal Adams is saying that he needs a cigar. He's celebrating for the division, whatever, shoving in players' faces. And then you have Jalen Ramsey, the next game, after the Rams beat the Seahawks, chirping the Seahawks, telling them to go to Cabo. Take your t-shirts and hats to go to Cabo. Now this week, you got Jamal Adams chirping the Rams after the Packers beat them, saying, we'll meet you in Cabo, or we'll see you in Cabo, or something like that. He put it on his story. And it's just, I'm for trash talking, but this is a little too much. You lost, for one. You don't have a say. And no Seahawks player has a say, because they lost to the Rams in the wildcard game. They won the division, sure, but they won no playoff games. And then the Rams, at least, they put up sort of a fight against the Packers. I don't think the Seahawks would have put up a fight like the Rams did. The Packers, the score shows that the Packers beat them by quite a bit, but the Rams did have some fight in them. So I don't want to be talking about this anymore, about just having the players chirping. I want to see players chirp, but let it be during the game or whatever. After you lose, you stop. You show the respect. After you're done, your season's done, you don't need to be doing this. And especially Jamal Adams, he's talking all this talk, 0 picks. Blitz boy over here. I still think he's a great player, but you're chirping Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's chirping you. Just stop. You guys are both out. Both teams are out. There's nothing more to say. Go on, enjoy it. If you're going to be all salty, be salty for sure. Sure, fine. But, like, season's done. You guys show the respect and just stop. Okay? It's over with. Leave it be. So, now that I got that little rant out of the way, and I'll probably have to say something again in the future, or I probably will say something in the future. Who knows? But now that that's out of the way, I don't want to go through all the games. I mean, it wasn't that surprising of a wild card weekend. Bills beat the Ravens. The Ravens didn't really do much that game, but Chiefs beat the Browns, Packers beat the Rams, and you have the Buccaneers beating the Saints when I had the Saints beating the Buccaneers. So, the only thing I really want to talk about from this weekend is, Drew Brees. Could this be his final game? And if it is, it's gonna be sad. As a Aaron Rodgers fan myself, like Aaron Rodgers being probably one of my favorite players all time, you still got to show the respect for Drew Brees. And I wanted to see, as much as I want to see Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady in the playoffs, for what happened during the regular season, which, I'll do a preview for that in a bit. Drew Brees is just, he's a legend. And he might not be the same player that he was, years ago. He definitely doesn't have that arm strength anymore. And maybe that's the reason why, Michael Thomas is, the slant boy or whatever people are calling him. It still sucks to see him retire. I would have liked to see him win, one more Super Bowl, or I would have liked to see him make it to the conference championship, play Aaron Rodgers, because I don't think they've played each other before. Can't remember. Have they played each other? Did they play each other in 2011? I can't remember now. I don't know why it's slipping my mind, but seeing Drew Brees retire, it's just it sucks. I wanted to see him, maybe win one more. Would have liked to see him beat Tom Brady for sure. But could this be his final game? It's looking like it from what we saw with his run out the tunnel. That last glance at the stadium, that breaks you down as a sports fan. Like if you're a football fan, you know how much that hurts to see him just get one last glance. He's going to be retiring, I'm pretty sure. I don't see him coming back. Who starts for the Saints at QB? I don't know. They might have to go out and get another QB. Do they re-sign Jameis Winston? Maybe. He had a really good throw. He made a really nice pass that game. And you know what? I mean, you give him that chance, who knows? But the Saints are in really big cap troubles next year. And they're like $99 million over the cap. They're going to have to let a lot of people go. They're going to have to get a QB for cheap. They're in some trouble next year. And, man, it's a tough situation for the Saints. Like, if I'm a Saints fan, I'm nervous for next year. You're most likely not going to have Drew Brees back, it looks like. He's looking at retirement. Who do you get for QB? Is it going to be Taysom Hill? I mean, if it's Taysom Hill, I don't really trust him as much at QB. I think Taysom Hill is better off with being like that Swiss Army guy. You want to do trick plays. Sure, you can have him toss it for a trick play, or if you want your QB to sit at the thing and just put Taysom Hill in, or if you want him to go tight end, wide receiver, fullback, running back. He's a Swiss Army player. I don't think he's a true QB. That's why I'm a little nervous if Taysom Hill is going to be the QB for next year. Is it Jameis Winston? Well, if he resigns, maybe. And if he does resign, it's Jameis Winston. We saw what he did with Tampa. He has the potential to be a great QB, but he also has the potential to throw 30 picks in a season. And that's 30 picks in a season, no bueno. It's no bueno, even if you threw 30 touchdowns that same season. Jameis Winston has potential, but do you bring him back, or you keep him at a backup role, or does he want to go to another team for another chance? Who knows? I say give him a chance to be a starter on the team. It could be Jameis Winston. I think he'd be good with the Buccaneers, or not the Buccaneers, with the Saints. But then again, they're in cap trouble. So that the Saints situation is just somehow they're in more debt than I am. Joking. I don't know why I made that joke. It wasn't even funny. Whatever. But yes, it's gonna suck to see Drew Brees retire. I'm gonna miss seeing him play. For some reason, I can't see anybody else being the New Orleans quarterback. I wanted him to be the quarterback forever, in all honesty, but it's the way she goes. So that means the playoff matchups for the conference championships this week is honestly really good. We got the Bucs in Lambeau this time, playing the Packers on Sunday at 3:05 Eastern time, because I don't know all this other time. Is that Eastern time? I think that is. And then you got the Bills versus Chiefs, which I had them being in the conference championship. So, as a Packers fan, I'm gonna make Packers and Bucs fans. Anybody wanted? Hold on. Just let me talk about the Chiefs and Bills. So we got the Chiefs versus the Bills. And that's looking like a really good... I'm going to be enjoying that game myself. You got... Hopefully Patty Mahomes is back for that game, because he was taken out of the divisional round game because of a concussion. I hope he's healthy enough to play. Chad Henne, he looked good in those last bit of the game for the Chiefs, or he looked fine, but the Chiefs are going to need Patty Mahomes for this game, just like any other game. I wouldn't trust Chad Henne same way I wouldn't trust anybody else other than Patrick Mahomes. Can they still win even without Mahomes? They have the weapons on offense, but without Mahomes, making those impossible throws that only him and Aaron Rodgers can make, do they win? I don't think so. I think the Bills can even win without Patrick Mahomes, to be honest with you. And I honestly do want to see... Oh boy, I think I touched this thing. I do want to see the Bills win. I want to see the Bills go to the Super Bowl. I did see some people have the Bills winning the Super Bowl against the Packers, which, kind of hurts. But I do want to see the Bills make it to the Super Bowl. I got some friends that are Bills fans. I do got a cousin that is a Chiefs fan, and he got to see them win last year. I haven't gotten to see my team win since I was 10. So I think, sorry, but that's just how it is. And I got a lot of Bills fans, a lot of Bills friends say, they've never seen them win to begin with. But, but I do think, to be honest with you, this is my take. And it's going to be hot. Okay? I think Stephon Diggs and Patrick Mahomes. I think Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, they're going to lead the Bills over the Chiefs. And I think it's going to be a blowout win. I don't know why. I think that's if... it's not that hot, because if Chad Henne isn't playing, or if Chad Henne is playing. But if Patrick Mahomes is in the game, it's going to be a closer game. I still think somehow the Bills are going to take it. Don't know why. I just have a feeling with the Bills. That's just how it is. I think it's going to be the Bills that win that game. Now, actually, hold on. The Bills are going to win this game because I think Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen are just too good right now. Patty Mahomes, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, they're really good, but man, that chemistry with Allen and Diggs. I'm just so happy Diggs isn't on the Minnesota Vikings anymore. And I'm happy he's found a team with the Bills. And I'm happy he's got I love seeing that chemistry with him and Josh Allen. It is just really fun to see that bromance, man. It's a really fun thing to watch. It's really fun to... as a Bills fan, you guys... Or as Bills fans, not as a Bills fan. As Bills fans, you guys must be having so much fun this year. And I'm so happy. And actually... I want to just, big respects to Bills fans. After the Ravens lost to the Bills, what's his name? Lamar Jackson went down with an injury, and it looked really bad. But One Bills fan and some of his friends, they started donating to Lamar Jackson's favorite charity in Louisville, and you know what? Like, just that's big respects for the Bills fans. Like, you gotta appreciate what they did. Bills fans, some of the best fans in the NFL, and love to go watch a game down there. But you got to respect the Bills fans for doing that. The Bills Mafia, love what they did. Big respects to you guys. Hopefully, we get to, both Packers fans and Bills fans get to enjoy a Super Bowl this year. A good Super Bowl this year. And speaking of the Packers, I think they're going to beat the Bucs. Now, what happened the last time the Packers played the Bucs this year? It was Week 6. Packers had the Week 5 bye. Packers were 4-0. Okay. They walk into Tampa, and they get absolutely slaughtered. So, what happens this week? I think it's going to be different. Not going to be the same. I think it's going to be a lot better of a game for the Packers. Here's why. They had a game against the Rams. They looked really good. Now, the run game is looking good. The air game looking really good on offense. Like, the offense looks incredible. They looked unstoppable until they went into Tampa, got stopped by Brady and the Bucs. But I think it's gonna be different. We're talking about a team, like, you're going to be losing games for sure in the NFL. Now, it's a little nerve-wracking that, they need to go through the team that beat them already. So, here's my thing. The last game, Jair shut down. Like, it's going to come down to the defense, and the offense needs to step it up against the Bucs. So, we didn't see a really good offensive effort from the Packers that game. Aaron Rodgers, he had his stinker. He threw 2 picks. He allowed his 3rd ever career pick 6, I think it was. We're not going to be seeing that again from Aaron Rodgers. That was a really bad game, and it's going to happen. Does it happen again? No. I think we're going to be seeing Aaron Rodgers. He's really dialed in right now. He is just his last 7 games, including the last game, he has looked incredible. He has just looked like a world eater. Now, we also are starting to see the emergence of A.J. Dillon on the offense. They still got Aaron Jones. They still got Jamal Williams. It's running back by committee with this team again. Then you still got Davante Adams, which I don't think he played that game. I don't know. No, was it that game? I think he might have he got injured, and then I know he missed 2 games this year. I can't remember if that was the game that he missed. Robert Tonyan is really emerging as a very reliable option on this team. The difference is no David Bakhtiari, but that doesn't really scare me because they're going into this game with a lot of confidence. They were able to stop Aaron Donald. If you can stop Aaron Donald, you should be able to stop Jason Pierre-Paul. And is So on there? Yeah, and Ndamukong Suh. You stop those 2, you should be able to beat them on the run game, and you should be able to beat them in the air because you got Davante Adams. Anytime you have Davante Adams, you're gonna win. Allen Lazard, he looked really good last game too. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he has times where he has moments where I get frustrated with him, but that happens when you're a young player. There's also a lot more moments where I'm very impressed with the things that he can do. He's a very reliable slot receiver in my opinion. He might drop the ball sometimes, but so does Lazard, so does St. Brown, so does a lot of players. The only player on the team that doesn't really drop the ball is, knock on wood, Davante Adams. Everybody else is dropping the ball. I still think that Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he's an option on this team. So that's why I'm not so scared of the Buccaneers, because the game that happened last time where they lost 38-10, that's not going to happen again. And another thing is too, Matt LaFleur, he's a very smart coach. He's not going to let the same things happen again. So that's why I got the Packers beating the Buccaneers. I'm going to say it's going to be a closer game. I think it's going to be 30 to 27 for Packers. The Bills-Chiefs game, I think it's going to be, if Patrick Mahomes is playing, that the game is, I'm going to say, ooh, that's tough. I think it might be, I kind of want to say it's going to be a shootout. You know what? I'm going to say the score of the Bills-Chiefs is going to be 42 to 35. Packers going to be 30 to 27. Hopefully I remember this, because I don't remember what I said last week. But I think it's going to be the Packers and Bills in the Super Bowl. I'll talk about, who wins it next week, because I am very superstitious about, saying, two things too far ahead. But, we see how that goes. I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl. A lot of people are wanting, the State Farm Bowl. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on with the NFL. I don't get it. Like, somebody pointed out that this is last year was with the Super Bowl last year, that the NFL pretty much either predicted it or they fixed it for it being the San Francisco 49ers and Chiefs, from like a Christmas picture that they posted with something. I think it was Patty Mahomes opening up a present, and so was Jimmy Garoppolo, and then that somehow like signaled that they were going to be in the Super Bowl. I don't know. I think that's stupid. And then they're like, this year, you got Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes both in State Farm commercials. They're both going to be playing in the Super Bowl, whatever. I don't think that's how it's going to go. I don't think that's how it works. I think everybody's got to calm it down with the conspiracy theories. Everybody's worried about things, and we just got to calm down. I don't think that's how the NFL works. If that's how it is, well, then what are you going to do? Hopefully they fix it for the Packers to win. As a Packers fan, I hope that's how it goes. So, what else? How much time we got left? Wow, this is going by fast. So, what else we got on the list today? Hockey started. I'm having a lot of fun with hockey right now. Not so much the second game of the season, and maybe the first game of the season was a little stressful too for the Leafs, as a Leaf fan, but I'm so happy it's back, man. We still haven't seen the Dallas Stars play yet because their games have had to be pushed back. The game yesterday between the Leafs and the Jets almost didn't happen because there was like COVID scares and whatever. Listen, this pandemic really sucks, okay? And it sucks for all of us. And in Ontario, we are in a third lockdown. Our second lockdown didn't end. And however you feel about it, I know how I feel about it. However you feel about it, it sucks, okay? Being stuck at home. But we got hockey, and we got football on, and we got basketball on, and baseball should be starting soon too. We got sports, and it's amazing. Now here's the thing. I forgot how stressful it is, because anytime I'm sitting watching a Leaf game, my heart rate is just way too high. And I forgot that's how it works because it's been so long since we watched the game. And it's been so long since we watched the Leafs play the Habs. And just real quick, Habs fans, I'm sorry for disrespecting your team. I said that they were going to stink. I didn't think they were going to be playing this well. And I said that the Oilers are going to be, the team that gives the Leafs the hardest time. They haven't played the Leafs yet, but I'm sorry, Habs fans. You guys. Habs are looking the Habs look a lot better than I expected. I kind of underrated them on purpose because I did think part of me did think that they were going to be playing well, but I didn't think they're going to be playing this well. They had me on the edge of my seat during the Leafs Habs game, and they usually are like that anyways with the Leafs. But seeing what they're doing to the Oilers, which I put the Oilers jersey up because like that was, I like the jersey, and Connor McDavid is one of my favorite players, but like. They were sort of my pick to, if not the Leafs, it was the Oilers to win the North. But, like, now it might be the Habs. How? Josh Anderson, that first game against the Leafs, I said, he doubled his goal total from last year. Big ups to you, man, but, like, calm down. I still think he's an overrated player. I still don't think that was the greatest signing, but still, they played a great game, and they usually do against the Leafs anyways, but, man, that was a really good game. Carey Price can really drag this team to the playoffs. Like, and that mask of his, I should have talked about it last week. That mask of his is just beautiful. I love it. You kidding me? It's like a zombie cyborg thing, and oh my god, it's so cool. I love it. And then he's also got the full red pads, which I have a buddy, he plays goalie. He hates the solid colored pads for some reason. I love solid colored pads. Don't know why. The white gets boring sometimes. I love seeing all blue or all red. Carey Price's pads with that helmet, that's one of the best setups in the NHL. But we did see a lot of waiver wire stuff happening. We saw it last week. We saw it this week too. One of the more interesting ones was Jason Spezza. I don't want to get too off track, but so this is an interesting thing to talk about. So Jason Spezza, he decided to tell the league that if anybody, he was put on waivers. So now because he went through waivers, but before that, and because he's able to go, I think the reason why he was put on waivers is the Leafs are taking a chance so that if they want, they could put him on now whenever, because he cleared waivers, they can just put him on the taxi squad whenever they want. I was a little afraid it was going to pick up, and then he just came out and said, if anybody picks me up, if anybody claims me off waivers, I'm retiring. Man, I love him. And I'm so happy he's a Leaf. He wants to be on the Leafs, and that's it. If he goes to another team, he's going to retire. He doesn't care about winning anywhere else. He wants to win with the Leafs. And you know what? Seeing that with players, that, anybody who goes to a team and only wants to win with that team, that's a dangerous combination. Because that's somebody who's dialed in. Now, the Leafs also put on Aaron Dell on waivers, and he was picked up by the New Jersey Devils. It sucks to see that he left, because I love his pads. Man, it was just, I love this pads. Hey, Aaron, if you want to send those pads, give me a price. I'll figure it out. I want those pads, dude. But, so he gets picked up by New Jersey, who is in a very difficult situation, or they're struggling right now when it comes to goalies. Because, so they signed Corey Crawford in the offseason. He was supposed to be, I don't think he was going to be the number one, but he was supposed to give them goalie depth, which is something that they really needed. He had some health issues. I think it was because of his past concussions and stuff like that. And he decides to retire. And then the New Jersey Devils were just scrambling for a goalie. And Mackenzie, what's his name? Mackenzie is it Blackwood? Why can't I think of the goalie's name? It is, oh my god, Mackenzie Blackwood, I think it is. Why isn't my M working? Or my C? Mackenzie. Yeah, Mackenzie Blackwood is the goalie. I don't know why you couldn't think of it, but he's looked really good as the New Jersey Devils goalie. But they still needed somebody else, because I think it was Scott Wedgwood that was the second goalie, or as a backup. He might be the backup, and the backup you're not expecting him to, be a world beater, but you do want, a serviceable backup. You want that. You want a backup who, you give your goalie some time to rest. You can come in, he can win games for you. And was Wedgwood that for the Devils? Maybe, maybe not, but Aaron Dell coming in gives him more goalie depth, which isn't a bad thing. Having depth in any position, not a bad thing. Gives him that goalie depth. You can put him in instead of Blackwood. He can be the backup. He didn't look. He wasn't gonna be the backup goalie, the starting goalie for the Leafs, anyways. But on the third string, sucks to lose him. As the Leafs, it really sucks to lose him. But the Devils, I think, made a good decision. But now you got to worry about, because he's coming from a Canadian team going to an American team. You got to worry about the 14-day quarantine period. When you're going to be able to get him, and we're seeing a lot of goalie waiver wire stuff. Like the Devils also claimed Eric Comrie off of waivers from the Jets. Now he's got to go. He's got to use. I think he's still in quarantine too. And you still got. And then you're seeing a lot of stuff like Anton Forsberg was put on waivers, claimed. I think it was put on waivers by the Blackhawks, got claimed by the Hurricanes, and then got claimed by the Jets. I might be wrong about this. I don't know why. I can't think about it now. I know he was put on waivers twice, and I got claimed twice. But you're seeing a lot of waiver wire stuff happening because it's just, so he was claimed by the Jets the second time. But you're seeing a lot of this waiver wire stuff happening and it sucks because now these players if they're coming from an American team to a Canadian team, they're going to be waiting. You're not going to be able to have that player for 2 weeks. But there's a lot of cap stuff going on this year, and it's just really funky. It's a strange year for the NHL when it comes to the cap situations. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year it is an interesting year. You, as a player, you get claimed off of waivers going from a Canadian team, an American team, an American team to a Canadian team. You got to wait. You don't get that player right away like you would in previous years. And then you got to worry about, because now you're seeing like the Leafs too. They got some cap, they got a cap situation to play around with. But man, it's just a confusing year. Like it's difficult to talk about all this waiver wire stuff like it would be for other years because, man, I have no full understanding of what's going on. I just can't understand what is going on in the NHL with a lot of this the cap situation, like the stats and all. They're already confusing enough. Now you got this like COVID stuff and whatever, and it's just, it's gonna take time getting used to, but. A lot of players moving around already. Players being put on waivers, whatever. A lot of players, like a lot of injury stuff already. A lot of injuries already happening too. Like Nick Robertson, there's a lot of questions with him going on right now with his injury. What happens with him? It really sucks to see that he went down with an injury 5 minutes into his game. Like I think he only played like 5 minutes of the game, and it sucks. But a lot of stuff going on in the NHL. A lot of teams surprising, like the Habs, like I said. What else do we see? What else were we seeing? Oh my God, why am I losing my train of thought? What was I gonna say? With the North Division, we're seeing a lot of surprises, really. Like I said, the Habs are just really surprising to me this year. Like they look really good. The Canucks. Can you really say the Canucks are disappointing? I don't think you really had the Canucks being a great team. They surprised opening night by beating the Oilers, and then they just haven't won since then. Like what can you say? The Wild coming back against the Wild. Kaprizov is looking pretty good for the Wild. I don't really get to watch him that much, but. Haven't really been hearing a lot from the top 2 picks of the NHL draft this year, and it's disappointing. I thought Lafreniere was going to be a lot better. I thought he would have been. I thought he would have been better this year. I'm not saying he's bad, but I expected to hear his name a lot more. I've been hearing a lot of Tim Stützle's name, and so that the back-to-back with the Ottawa Senators, Stützle is just looked really good. He's a beast, that kid. Or Stützle, I think Stützle is how you pronounce it. He's a beast, that kid. Gotta watch out for the Sens. They can make the playoffs this year. Maybe not this year, but they can sneak in if they wanted to, and they can make it next year. They're a dangerous team. We're gonna be seeing. There's a lot of weird stuff gonna be happening this year. The Sens could probably make it. The Oilers are just beating, or the Oilers can't beat the Habs. Not hearing Connor McDavid's name a lot. I mean, a lot of stuff going on this year, and it's going to be an exciting thing to talk about. What else? You got the Islanders beating the Bruins how you expect they would, by boring them to death. What else? We got the Sabres full out slapped the Flyers yesterday. Really surprising, in my opinion. Like that division is going to be very tough, like I said last week. And the Sabres beating the Flyers, if you're the Flyers, you don't need that right now. You need to be winning games because the Flyers need to be winning games because they got to worry about the Islanders, the Islanders, Penguins, Bruins. You got a lot of teams to worry about in that division. You shouldn't be dropping games like that, especially to the Sabres. But it's interesting this year. A lot of interesting stuff happening. Is it going exactly how I expected? Not even close to how I expected it with a lot of the things. Like I had the Habs not playing this well, and I can't stop talking about the Habs right now because they're very surprising to me. And I'm gonna get this out of the way. Season's not done, okay? And I still made my prediction. I'm gonna stick with my prediction. I'm not gonna change it right away. I don't think the Habs make the playoffs. I think second half of the season they start dropping games and bad games too. The Oilers are gonna pick it up, but now so real quick. I just want to talk about the Leaf game from last night. What happened? So Leafs beat the Jets, and this isn't. I'm not gonna be talking about this as. I'm gonna be talking about it as a Leaf fan, but also as a hockey fan. The Leafs beat the Jets. Now, what I was seeing some things like Jesse Pollock from TSN. He was going around saying that if Liney's in that game, the Leafs beat them, or they beat the Leafs. He's a Jets fan. I get why he's saying that. Liney's a really good player, but the Leafs looked really good last night. I think Connor Hellebuyck held them in. Does Liney make a difference? Of course he does. He's a great player. I still think I think the Leafs would have found a way to still win. But at the end of the game, the Leafs win 3-1. Marner scored the empty netter to pretty much seal the game. Now, as he does that, Neil Pionk decides. I don't know what he was deciding to do. It looked like he wanted to kill Marner. It looked like he stuck his leg out. It looked like it was gonna be an open ice hit. Could he have put out the clean hit? He could have, but it looked like it was gonna be a very dirty hit on Marner, and it looked like he had malicious intent. Marner puts it away. Marner somehow is standing up, and Neil Pionk is on the ground. At the end of the game, or after the goal, Marner's chirping Pionk for trying to hit him. And I honestly, as a Leaf fan, love seeing that fiery side of Marner. I think he's also looked really good, or so he's starting to look. He's had some really good games. But Neil Pionk going in for that late hit on Marner as he's trying to put the puck in. It looks like he was. I think he looked like he was sticking his leg out. That's just not something you do. And then Marner chirps him, and then Pionk is just standing there, looking. He's just taking it. And then all of a sudden, of course, Scheifele comes in, and he tries getting at Marner, and then we see Captain Johnny T go up and try sticking up for Marner. Now Marner's still there chirping him, but this. The whole scrum happens, and then we don't see Pionk in it at all. The one who initiated it. And, Johnny T is sticking up for Marner. Marner's still there. Marner didn't run away. It was Pionk who ran away. Now, Marner, I'm a little afraid with him because, he's fragile. He's a little guy. I mean, it's not that he's fragile, but we're not seeing the same side of the Leafs that we were at before. This is a different team. Now, could it have been that Wayne Simmons and Zach Bogosian changed it for them? Perhaps that, perhaps they showed them that you need to stick up for yourself. Could it also have been that they're adults now, where they don't need people sticking up for them? Steve Dangle and his L Fart, put it perfectly. As once you turn 18, you're pretty much told that you're an adult now. And you're like, okay, but when you're 18, you still feel like a kid in a way. It's different for a lot of people. Like, there's a lot of people that, for myself, I didn't really feel like a kid a lot of the time when I was 18. Like, there's times where I felt like, okay, it's time to be an adult now. Marner, he's that kid. He's a kid at heart, and he'll always be a kid at heart. But it looks like it got to the point where him, Matthews, Nylander, they're like, that's enough now. We gotta start sticking up for ourselves. Matthews is just looking fiery this year. He's gonna punch somebody in the face this year. He looks like I think Matthews is gonna have his first career fight, and I can't wait to have that. I'm gonna be so nervous, but I'm gonna be so amped up for it too. Then Mitch at the end of the game, he's not gonna let people push him around anymore. He's not that small of a guy. Like, let's be real. He's 6 foot, but he's a scrawny kid. He's not scrawny, but he's a little bit smaller frame wise. But size doesn't mean everything. And I think he's starting to get into his mindset that he's got to start sticking up for himself. Not that John Tavares has to stick up for him, or Wayne Simmons. For the game against the Habs, he fought somebody and was at the turning point. It could have been, but you don't need players fighting for you. And it gets to a point where you got to stick up for yourself. And like Steven even said it himself, and like everybody goes through it at one point. When you're growing, yes, you're 18, you're technically an adult. But it takes a couple years where it gets to the point where it snaps into you. Where like, I don't want you pushing me around anymore. Nobody can push me around anymore. I'm going to stand firm. It happens for a lot of people sooner. It happens for Mitch. He is 24, I think now? It's happening. This team is looking really good. I think this team has it in them to win it this year. This is a different team than we were seeing last year. Nobody's going to be pushing them around. Their power play looks really good. I love the way that they're not stagnant. They're just they don't just, you have Matthews on this corner, Marner over here, and they're just saucing the puck around. No, the players are moving. It's not just the puck moving, it's the players moving too, and I love it. I love seeing that. If you want, it's perfect when you're moving around, because you're going to be open. That's how you open up areas, just not by passing the puck, because you're just passing the puck and you have players that stay there. When you're moving around, you have to have the other players move with you. And when you're doing that, like they learned from that Columbus series, it looks like, because Columbus, all they had to do was stay in the middle because the Leafs were moving around. Now you're moving around more and more and more, and things are going to open up. When you do that, when you open things up from moving around, there's chances to score, and we saw that with John Tavares on the power play this week or yesterday, and from other instances too. Now the penalty kill is looking a lot different too. They are looking a lot better. The defense in general looks, in my opinion, a lot better from years before. Who is it? Because of the player personnel? Yeah, maybe. Having good players on defense, it helps. But I also think that it also comes down to coaching too. Zach Bogosian doesn't look like, he's not coming in to be, Bogo Norris. Like, it's a meme through and through. It's just a meme, Bogo Norris. But I don't expect him to be, Bobby Orr on the back end. But I also don't expect him to be taking really bad penalties. They didn't really do that the last game, but penalties have been really bad for the Leafs too. But it's a weird year for everybody in the NHL. You're going to be seeing a lot of bad penalties, a lot of weird penalties, a lot of weird things happening because there was no preseason, barely any training camp. A lot of things are going to be weird this year, and I love it. I'm so happy we have hockey back. Now, that's it for this week. This week went by. This episode felt like it went by really fast. Maybe not this week, but actually, sorry. So after this week, when we know who's gonna be in the Super Bowl, I'll put something up on my my poll, or on my Instagram story. Both my actual Instagram story and on the podcast Instagram story. I want Super Bowl predictions. So after this week, we see who's in it. Then when we know who's going to be in the Super Bowl, I want Super Bowl predictions. And I'm not just talking about, game predictions. I want predictions for anything that's going to be happening, like the wackiest stuff. I want you to tell me who you think, like, is there going to be a blackout during the halftime performance? is the weekend going to be coming out looking like a chisel face? Like how he just posted something on Instagram, and like I don't know what he did, but he looks like he got beat in the face by a baseball bat and had to get reconstructive surgery. Is he going to be coming out like that? Is somebody going to be taking, a piss in the corner of the Super Bowl? I want, Super Bowl predictions. I want both score predictions, and I want like the craziest predictions that anybody can think of. That's it for this week. You can follow Instagram at Bonavoda. Follow me on Twitter at Bonavoda_. Follow the podcast on Instagram, Leading the Pack Pod. That's it for today, for this week. And I'll see y'all later. Ciao.